So today we're going to go over a very niched down, a very specific Q4 sourcing strategy. And this Q4 strategy may not be for everyone, but regardless of whether this is something that you want to take advantage of or not, I think it's valuable for everyone to be aware of, to everyone to learn from, because we can pivot and find sort of like the adjacencies that I talk about from these sorts of products and these sorts of sellers, right? And so what we're going to be talking about is Lego. And so Lego is notorious, or Amazon is notorious for holding Lego in stock pretty much all year round, right? However, there's a specific time period every single year, between, early December into January, where because the Q4 demand is so crazy, because the Q4 demand is so large, Amazon simply can't keep enough in stock to keep up with the demand, right? They just go out of stock, and now the ball shifts into the third party's court, right? And so if we could pinpoint these sorts of products where this activity has happened year after year after year after year, we can proactively position ourselves with the proper stock in stock to be able to make some good money from these sorts of products, right? And so I will show you how to find them, but I'll also show you, to start off this whole kind of video, we'll go through a couple different examples of when this happens and the sorts of products that we are actually looking for. All right, so we have this Lego SKU 10713. And we see what happens, right? If we're in the 3-month view, nothing super interesting. Amazon in stock 100% of the time, $13.79, drops down to $12.99, right? Up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So from a price perspective, nothing really interesting. However, you'll notice the offers are steadily climbing, and you'd wonder, all right, well, why are so many people joining this market? It doesn't look like anything is happening. It's because these 17, 30, 45, 54 sellers are pretty smart, right? They see something that the majority of sellers aren't seeing, right? And it's something that you guys are going to be now trained to spot as well, right? So if we span out a year's view, something interesting happens. Last December, look at this, right? Amazon was in stock, same sort of deal. They were actually priced more expensive last year, $15.99. And then they go out of stock, and now it's in the third party's court, right? Now third-party sellers are printing. You'll notice that the sales rank obviously goes up a bit. That's just because the price is higher. More consumers are hesitant to buy knowing that's more expensive. Amazon's out of stock, right? A lot of these things are influencing the sales rank dropping. But still, 3,000, 4,000 in toys is still a fast-moving product. Of course, as well, we see the offer count drop off a cliff. And that's just because of how much movement we're seeing with this particular product. Now, this is 1 year. Now, you'll say 1 year of data is not that indicative of what's going to happen for years to come. I agree, right? So if we go back to our 3-month view, and now if we spin out to the year, or to the all history, same thing. What do we see, right? Same sort of market increase, same sort of out of stock, and now sellers drop off again, right? This same activity has happened in last year in 2022, happened in 2021, and it also happened in 2020, right? Obviously, the price points are a little different, right? Amazon's charging $16, actually now it's cheaper, but we see the same sort of activity happening. We see the same sort of third-party sellers that are printing year after year after year. Now, so what can we deduct from this? First and foremost, like we kind of already established, this sort of strategy is not necessarily for everyone, and we all get that, right? And not everyone wants to be able to, buy either from Walmart or Target or Kohl's, right? We can see go up here. Walmart's probably in stock. Yep, $13.79 for this particular product, right? It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea to buy something hoping that this sort of thing is going to happen, right? I understand that. However, whether you want to be buying into these products or not, we can still acknowledge that the 60 people that are right now, or the 37 people that were last year, or however many did the year before, are still probably pretty smart, and we can still learn from them, right? So again, like we've shown before, if we go into the buy box statistics, we go into the year view, well, now we can see, some probably relatively smart sellers who are selling it at the peak, 26, right, that we can probably learn from, right? And so if we go to Queen City Candy Cave, they may have all Legos, they may not. They may have some other products that we may be interested in, some shoes, Adidas, right? These are probably all awayable items, right? Maybe some outlets involved here, but probably for the most part bought online. And so right off the bat, just because we acknowledge that Queen City Candy Cave is probably pretty smart, well, now we have a step up in our competition to be able to have another resource to continue to learn from, right? And so this is just one example, right? We'll close this one out. We'll go into another one. We'll close the storefront out. Here's another example. Again, same sort of situation. 3 months, not very interesting. We span out the year, bang. This is where all the action happens. We span out a couple years, bang, bang. Happens now 3 years in a row. And now again, I'm not necessarily looking for Lego products that have that have shown this just once. I'm looking for year after year after year, the same sort of demand, the same sort of Amazon lackluster ability to keep in stock, because this is the stuff that we can depend on, right? This is the stuff that we can really plan for and kind of take advantage of. And so there's a lot of SKUs that kind of show the same sort of strategy. They show the same sort of Q4 spike, right? This one actually goes from 16, it looks like, all the way up to 40 or so. If we can, yeah, just about 40. So these guys are printing, right? Fly, 258 Strategy LLC, all these guys, Fly Guy Retail. These are all the probably pretty smart sellers that we can learn from, right? Because they've really benefited from so much arbitrage. Now, I can keep going through a lot of these different examples, but let's actually dig into Keyword Product Finder and establish kind of how to find them, right? And so we'll start with the sales rank, right? So we're a lot of this is depending on Amazon being and so we're in late November. This is probably too late to act on this year, but maybe something you can learn from next year or learn from the sellers that are doing it this year, right? And so we're really looking for the really fast Lego products. And so we're going to start our sales rank max 30 days at 10,000. Obviously, 3 million products left. Not super intriguing yet. So we're going to come down. We're going to use our brand filter. We're going to establish Lego. All right. 500 Lego products that are, let me just make sure I cleared the whole form first. Yep, I did. So come down here, Lego branded. And so we're also actually going to, because we're probably going to get a lot of different products here, we're going to, first and foremost, establish Amazon actually being in stock, which is pretty counterintuitive than what we're used to. But we're going to come down here and use the same filter that we usually use to filter out Amazon to filter in Amazon. And so we'll set a max out of stock at 20% because we want Amazon to be in stock at this point in time, right? So we'll do 15% because we want Amazon to be in stock because that's going to keep out a lot of the competition, right? That's going to keep out a lot of the people that are going to be affecting how we can profit here. And so we can automatically start to see the activity, right? If we look at that keep a graph in the bottom right, we can see last January, the Amazon obviously goes out of stock. We see those blue lines, those kind of tall vertical lines. That's the offer count. That's the price point increasing. Now, theoretically, we're looking for the Lego products that go up about 2 times, right? We're looking for this looks like we're looking for pretty much a 2-time increase, right? Like going from 20 to 45 at least, 50, 40 at least. So we're looking for that like 2x jump in price point in the products that we're looking for. And so we can really start to kind of filter through. Oh, it looks like it just happened here. Look what happened. So if we click in here, this is actually pretty interesting, right? Because it just actually happened. Amazon was in stock at 32, price goes up to 59.60, and Amazon's back in stock, right? So they'll actually probably continue to go in and out of stock for the rest of this Q4 if they've already started to show it here. And if that is the case, right, we could probably go pick this up at Walmart for 32. Target looks like it's probably a pretty easily findable item, whatever. Geez, looks like Walmart 32.49 with some extra cash back and some coupons and stuff. We can probably get that down to probably around 30, but worst case 32.49. If we're selling it about 65, we're going to be doing pretty well on this particular product. Continuing to go, right? And so, but this is an interesting one because it hasn't necessarily shown the year after year repetitive in out of stock. So this is an interesting one, right? I guess it happened probably right here. I don't know if that was in January or not. It was in June. Maybe something to do with COVID or something like that. But going back to our Keep It graph, our Keep It product finder, we're looking for those, again, dating back to last January, those ones where there's a break in the stock and the price kind of shoots up. So it's not going to happen. It's going to happen on a lot of them, but the severity is not going to happen on a lot of them, right? So we're looking for the ones that really jump up in price points, similar to kind of like the ones I showed in where we started this example, right? So it kind of happens here. This past year, I guess it doesn't really. Close this out. It looked more severe in the Keep It chart, but it doesn't look. It goes up to 80, but it only starts at 63, so that's not going to work for us. But essentially, we're just going to keep working our way down and identifying that steady in stock of Amazon and then the spike of price point. So now we can add a couple things to our Keep It graph, right? Our product, our find, our search. Geez. So if we come down here, we can add, because again we're looking for year after year after year repetitiveness in what we're looking for. We can use the tracking since, right, time we have been started tracking this product to identify the sorts of Legos that have been in existence on Amazon's platform for years, right? So we can go back to, call it like 22, before Q4 or April 22 or something like that, to identify the products that have years of history. Because again, those are really the ones that we're looking for. We're looking for the ones that, and this is an interesting one because it doesn't happen in Christmas time, but it does happen, right? Because we're looking for the ones that show that same sort of activity year after year after year, right? And so another way to approach this, right, if you just find a couple, like we did, a couple really, really good ones, kind of how we already alluded to, these sellers are sellers that we can learn from, right? And so even if we're just going into these storefronts, I'm assuming they have some Legos in stock that they are leveraging the same sort of strategy with. Or being that we're approaching December, right, any of these sort of products that has happened that has shown this to happen in the past, if we monitor their storefronts, well, they're probably on some other Legos that in which they expect that to happen, right? So, for example, here, or one of the good ones. I think I closed out the really good ones. Actually, this is a good one, right? If we identify, okay, well, the price went up to about $60 last year, right? Actually, not this one. We'll use this one, for example, right? The price went up to about $20 or so last year, and we're thinking that that's going to happen this year. If we wanted to use these stores to our advantage, if we want to find the smart sellers, well, if we just come to the stock, right, and we go to the price point that it has shown before, well, we're going to find some smart sellers, right? This Cheap Toys USA, priced at $19.93. And Mom and Baby, right, $19.99, right? Any of these sellers that are in that sort of 19, 20, 22, 23 to 25, these are all probably pretty smart, right? These are all probably the sort of sellers that are exhibiting this sort of strategy and are going to implement this at a probably decent scale. And so in these sorts of storefronts, we can probably learn and find some other opportunities that may or not even be related to Q4, to Legos. They may just be run-of-the-mill, natural, replenishable products that we can now source for ourselves. And so this is the video for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy the channel. If you do, leave a comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.